welcome back to the Blu Ray Hunter. I'm the Blu Ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we've got an excellent show. We're doing our haul video, and I've got my buddy John Ward here. How you doing, John?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So John and I do this bi-monthly, I guess. That's what it's considered. So bi-monthly, and we do I'll do what is it? I'll do well, you'll do 15 to start with, 15 Blu-rays, and then I'll do 15, then vice versa. And we got 30 Blu-rays for you guys. I've got 10 4Ks and 20 Blu-rays, but he doesn't have a 4K, so he doesn't do
No,
4K.
my stuff's just all regular Blu-ray. So
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, that's just as fine.
My complaint with 4K is they're gonna come out with 5K, then
No,
6K, then
not
7K,
5K.
then
They go right to
8K.
8K.
Okay, then it will be 8K. And
Yeah,
then you'll then
they've
you'll be
already
like,
got
well,
like 16K cameras, so
yeah, so to me it's just a waste of money. If I have to force myself like I did with Blu-ray because I was only doing DVD and then saw the final chapter, the only way of getting it unrated was on Blu-ray. I had to buy a Blu-ray player.
and then you ended up,
And
yeah.
now, yeah, so I'd still do both DVD and Blu-ray, but ultimately I don't care. But yeah, if there becomes a point where like Saw 10, the only way of getting it is on 4K, then I guess I'll be getting a 4K TV and player.
Listen to
So
that, Saul.
no, don't.
We got to get John. Man, freaking Paul's got a 4K stuff, so I don't. But yeah, you've got other issues. You don't want to deal with buying another 4K TV than a 4K player right now. Wait till like next year, year after that, or whatever. Whenever you down the line, you want to
As long
actually,
as you can always play what came before it, that's I'm okay with it. Like I
yeah.
would go out and maybe even buy a player, maybe not necessarily a TV, but a player that played 4K because they do have like two movies that are 4K, but they're I mean they just came in the package. So I think I have like no maybe two or three that are in 4K.
Cool.
But I don't know if I would go out and rebuy everything. So I mean you'll see in my second stack here that there is a theme.
Okay.
Actually, both stacks have a theme,
Yeah.
and I just got all of these exactly the way that I want them, even though I know that the entire series is now out on 4K. It's like crap. I don't want to now have to go back and buy everything on 4K. I just got it all on Blu-ray.
Right.
So, but yes, I'm first. So, um, the first two films here are movies that I worked on,
Okay.
and I got copies on Blu-ray, so I'm sharing them. So the first one is brand new, and that is Zombie Rage.
Okay.
So you'll be getting a copy of this in that package with the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video. So
Oh, because you got two of them.
I got a whole box of them.
So, in the Zombie Rage. Okay, so your movie.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
movie.
My short film is part of this anthology.
Nice.
So and there was one review that compared it to George Romero. So I was very happy
There you
about
go.
that, and I'm happy enough with it that I want to write it as a feature and try to shoot it. Probably within like the next year or so. But yeah, it's a zombie anthology. There's basically Ken Ace Brewer is the guy who put it all together. There's my actress right there, Adriana. I'm never sure how to pronounce her last name. Garbizzo. I'm horrible at names. But it's some of it's comedy, some of it's serious. So yeah, so I'm part of this, and
Cool.
you can get this through Kin or Livid Media. So the next one is one that's been out for a little bit, but since we do this, bi-monthly, it's just been sitting here. Another film, Zomghouls.
Zomgoals.
So I worked on that, and
Will's movie.
yeah, Will Clausel, like Julianne Prescott. There's Mike Ferguson. There's a Sean C. Phillips. There's a whole bunch of people that worked on this. So it's Will said we should do audio commentary on this, and I said no because I would have nothing good to say.
Well, you can always try to be positive on stuff.
I'm so tired of being positive on stuff. I mean, it's like I know that you can find good things and everything, but I I don't know. I have good things to say about this one. My experience of making my short was good, and I'm happy with it in here. Even though the other ones pretty much come off as comedy. There's three filmmakers. I'm one of them. One of the guys is from Canada. Then there's Ken, who's in Southern California. They all kind of have comedy in them, and then mine is like dead ass serious.
Mm, you know.
So I didn't know that it was going to be kind of a comedy, but he says it kind of breaks it up a little bit because mine is the only one that's done in two parts. And some reviews have
Oh.
questioned like, why is it two parts? So when I wrote it and we filmed it, is I knew this shot will be where it edits, and then this shot is where it takes, where like part two starts. So I knew exactly where it would end and begin. But
Hmm.
yeah, people, some critics have said like, why is his the only one that's divided in half? So, um, and then I am on a Michael Bay kick, and so I did pick up Armageddon, which I recently just rewatched,
I was
and
on Criterion.
yeah, it's there's some really nice editions of this. But when I went to Zia Records, they had this. I picked it up. I said, I'm not going to go through the hassle for Armageddon. It actually looks great and sounds great. So I really enjoyed it. I like End of the World type of stuff. And then I also picked up while I was there Pearl Harbor.
Little Ben Affleck, Michael Bay.
Yeah, directed. Yeah, and somewhere in here, somewhere at Pearl Harbor, there is an actor, some extra running around in the background. That's probably my grandfather because he was at Pearl Harbor. So, um, which I have not rewatched this one yet, but I'll check it out. And this one I bought that I did a triple feature because I
Hmm.
like the first two. This one's directed by other people, so I guess now it's officially a franchise since they're coming out with part four, which I guess with Will Smith's career right now and Martin Lawrence being insane, it's kind of the only thing maybe they could do. So Bad Boys for Life, which I thought was pretty good for a film that
I've
Michael Bay
always like
didn't
wondered why
direct.
they save that for like why didn't they save that for the four? Because it could be Bad Boys for Life.
Well, this is part three.
Right. So they
Oh,
use
you mean
that for
save
part
the
three.
title for part
Yeah,
four?
save the title for part four. It would have
Well,
made
they
more
all.
sense.
I mean, they always say throughout this. I guess they kind of say it in the other ones too, but it's more in this. Bad Boys for Life
Right.
because they're getting older and like Martin Lawrence wants to retire,
But I'm just
so
saying,
they
like, it would have been cool for Life. That could be, whatever.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if this was just called Bad Boys 3. I mean, that's fine by me. But
Because the second one was called Part Two, like
just Bad
just
Boys 2. That's
Bad
it.
Boys
Yeah.
2. Didn't have a thing, so
Yeah.
whatever.
This one is an older movie, but I put it up here for its slip jacket or slip cover so people know that you can go on to eBay, and if you buy a movie late and you miss out on that slip cover, you can find them. Not all of them, because I'm still looking for this that Scream collection that has 1 through 3, and then the two documentaries and Scream 4. I'm still looking for those, but I did find the one for Creed 2.
Nice.
So I had originally purchased it, and this really annoyed me because Creed has this, and
Hmm.
I knew when I bought Creed 3 it would have this. So it's like, fuck, I want to, and some guy just happened to be selling this.
Nice.
He just called it a replacement cover, and I think it was like maybe $5, so maybe like $7 total. So if people want to have that complete thing, yeah, just go onto eBay. So that pretty much just the slip jacket is this one. And then because Creed 3 got that when it
Nice.
came out.
And that was in a slip jacket. So there you go.
And yeah, that does have it. So and this is really good. I would have been very interested in seeing what Stallone would have done. Since he did say it's not the movie that he would have made. So I'm wondering what he would have done. And
Well, he
it's
can't
weird.
complain. Like he didn't. I think he dropped out of it. I think. Like
I
I
don't think
don't
he was invited back.
really.
It's Ivan Winkler, I think is his name.
Irwin Winkler.
Erlen Winkler, and he owns the rights.
Why did he not
So
bring Stallone back?
I don't know. Maybe Michael B. Jordan wouldn't do it unless he could do his story and direct it. I don't know. But Stallone said that it's not the movie that he would have made. Also, Winkler, approached Dolph Lundgren, who's really good friends with Stallone, to do a Drago series. And Stallone openly spoke about that. And then Dolph Lundgren responded by saying, they just offered it to me. I didn't take it. So, calm down type of thing. Because he
Even
is
if he
in,
did take it, that's his choice to take it,
it is, but it's, as Stallone pointed out, he created the character of Drago for Dolph Lundgren. Because I guess at that point, like he either knew who Dolph Lundgren was, or maybe saw him and said he'd be perfect. I'm going to write the character for him, and then they became really good friends after that. So, because he's in the Expendables 4.
But if you listen to the what is it? That there was a documentary about Cannon, and at one point one of the guys said that Stallone came onto the set of Masters of the Universe and said, "You gave him the lead role. He can barely speak English." And so I think it's really funny that that Stallone would say he's friends with Dolph, when I think he, in a way, in the beginning at least, he seemed, I don't know, like the
That also could be ribbing, that maybe, because they're friends, he's just giving him a hard time, because Stallone can barely speak English.
yeah,
Because of that the surgery that he had messed up the side of his face. And because like the original Expendables, Dolph Lundgren died. And in the screenings, people said, no, we want him to live. So they reshot his scene. And at the end of the Expendables, Dolph's character goes, thank you for not killing me. I really appreciate it. Because in the movie, Dolph is the bad guy. And so, Stallone's character was going to kill him and then doesn't. And I think that's a little joke too, thank you for reshooting
thanks.
that scene.
Yeah, reshooting that scene. That's funny.
And plus, Dolph is a genius. Like he is actually has a massive IQ, and he's incredibly smart. So I don't think that he'd be dumb enough to, to kind of kiss his cash cow goodbye.
Yeah.
So it would have been interesting, because Dolph's son, the one that's in Creed 2, is in Creed 3. So he's still, Michael B. Jordan still lifted that character that Stallone created and put it in here. So I don't know. Like, Rocky's only mentioned once in the entire movie. It's weird. Like, he's never mentioned. I figured they would have said that he
That's
died
kind
of
of fucked
cancer.
up that Michael B. Jordan decided to do that. Like, that's almost like biting the hand that feeds you, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because they didn't mention Rocky, that maybe for Creed 4, because this thing made a lot of money. Maybe they want Stallone to come back. I don't know. But I figured that it would start with him at Stallone's grave. And like Stallone died of, like the Rocky died of cancer, because everybody else with Rocky has died of cancer. His wife, his brother-in-law, everybody's died of cancer. And Rocky did have cancer in Creed. And then it kind of magically disappeared in part 2 a little bit.
Yeah.
So kind of pulled like a Breaking Bad type of thing. And then but yeah, he's only meant, so I don't know. I mean, it's really weird. So I don't, there's a whole documentary right there in just of what's going on. I love this director, and I think I only need one more movie, which is oh god, I'm blanking on it. Does it say here? Yeah, Bone Tomahawk. I think that's the only one I need. So it's Drive Across Concrete,
Cool.
which is awesome. Yeah, this guy is a great friggin' director. He is violent as fucking hell, but yet he gets A-list actors in this. There is a head explosion in this that I had to rewind like a couple times. So it, I mean, I was absolutely shocked that they did it. And I don't care what people say about Mel Gibson. I know he's a loon, but he is a good actor. And I'm guessing that Vince Vaughn and the director have a good
Pe
relationship.
People say he's a loon, but they'll still watch Road Warrior. They'll still watch, all his old stuff, Braveheart. People will still watch. Nobody's gonna be like, I'm not gonna watch his movies anymore because he's crazy. No. Mm,
Well, and was that Hacksaw Ridge got nominated for best film and best
right.
director and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
He's
but
still out there
this
doing
is
his thing.
a great movie. And then I also got Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn. So same
Nice.
director. So they must have a good relationship. And this one takes a little bit. I'm like, God,
I have it
for
on 4K. I just never watched it yet.
it is it's a slow burn, but when the violence hits, oh man, it's not a brawl, it's a friggin' massacre. I mean, but this is really good. And Vince Vaughn in this is friggin' scary. So it's a really good movie. And now we get into a few films from the same franchise. So we have Better Luck Tomorrow,
Wow.
which is technically the prequel to The Fast and the Furious. Because there's Han right there, and this
Who
is
directed that?
Justin Lin,
Okay.
who directed a whole bunch of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
He was the one who introduced Hong to the series. And for the documentary that I watched, the producers are like, why would we want to do this? And he's like, trust me. And it was a good choice. He's a fan favorite. He's died like 3 times and they keep bringing him back. So, because
Which one?
people like him.
Hong? Which
Han,
Han? Which one's Han?
that's the guy right there.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, he's there, but it's hard to see. But
Yeah.
you would recognize him.
I know, but I don't watch. I don't watch Fast and Furious.
It's a great film. I mean, I saw this when it originally came out in the theater. It was an MTV thing. Came out in the 90s. It's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then after that, we got a Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, which is
Nice.
my favorite out of the whole series. So I think this is the best one. I really
This is
like
not
this
in
one.
order of chronological.
This is the series that I did watch chronologically, and it
Yeah,
worked.
but this isn't the way you're presenting it right now is not in order of chronological order.
No, more of how they just came out. But yeah, that's how I put them, is how they came out. But this is really good, and it's got the White Widow from the Mission Impossible movies in it,
Cool.
who I believe is going to be the Invisible Woman for Fantastic Four.
Who? Which one? Vanessa Kirby?
I'm not sure what her name is. I don't mean, I don't have my glasses, so I don't know. I forget what her name is. But she's the one she's like everybody's number one pick.
Well, actually, I mean, if you look on the now, I know IMDb is not always right, but Vanessa Kirby is on yep, that's her. That's her, Vanessa Kirby.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby right there. Yeah.
So yeah, she's already on the IMDb for Fantastic Four, only actor on there, and I'm wondering if that's just either somebody put because anybody can put up anybody on IMDb, but I have a feeling like that was a thing for real because they haven't officially announced it yet, but I think she's gonna be the new Sue Storm, which would be great.
She'd be Sue Storm. Yeah, she'd be a good choice. And then Fast X. This is the last one that I bought. So with Aquaman there.
Jason Momoa.
Basically just stealing. Oh, and it has Wonder Woman right there. I'm sorry, not Wonder. Oh, no, Wonder Woman is in this.
Gal Gadot?
Yeah, where is she?
Wow. They have Aquaman.
Maybe she's not in this. She in this one? She's in like 3 other ones. But here's Captain Marvel is right there.
Holy shit. Brie Larson, yeah.
Yeah. And
so they've had like a ton of they should have James Wan back to direct.
He won't come back. He chose not to after Vin Diesel like harassed him. You know,
I know, but he should because he's really good, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just some things. So yeah, she's in some of the other ones. I thought maybe, God, there's so many of them at times you just forget who's who's in all these. Oh yeah, this is the one where I made my post saying that Scott Eastwood is one of the worst actors I've ever seen. He
Oh,
obviously got his acting role because of his last name. There is no way he got it for his acting ability, and he's a good looking guy. So, and now this one isn't. This is kind of out of order, but it's a box set. It's all the Fast and Furious movies 1 through 9.
nice.
So this one is so 1 through 9, and then 10.
10. And then the other two.
So yeah, like Hobbs and Shaw is not part of this, so I had to buy that separately.
Yeah.
And either is Better Luck Tomorrow, but yeah, let's see if they show. No, they don't show Wonder Woman here, but she is in. Oh no, yeah, I think that's her right there. That's her right there. Hard to
Cool.
see because it's so tiny, but she's
Cool.
in like 3 of them. And this has all of the shorts and everything on them, like the short that's in between part 1 and 2. There's the short that Vin Diesel directed. It's got all that stuff on it. So it's pretty much the only thing you need for 1 and 4. Then I got 2 left. This was a bucket list one, and it was always like $40. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
from Synapse Films. So they had one of their sales and it went down to something like $10. So I had to buy it. The Kindred.
Nice.
And it comes in it's cool, nice little black box there that I like.
I need to get that at some point.
I love the Kindred. It's done by the guys who did like The Dorm That Dripped Blood. They also did I think it's Power or The Power. I'm not sure if there's a the in front of it or not. I think it's The Power. But yeah, it's nice that it comes with like its little catalog here. And now the last one, I've spoken highly of my Paranormal Activity box set, but I don't know, this takes the cake. This trumps it, and that is the Sensual World of Black Emmanuel.
Nice.
And it's got a massive book in it. Talks about all the movies, and you can turn the dial, like right there I have her being naked, so I'll flip that so YouTube doesn't have a cow. And then there's a that's a horse. There's like a horse on there, so it turns, so you can get up there she is naked again. So, and its booklet it's called the Black Emmanuel Bible,
Right.
and it's just huge with a ton of stuff in here. And then each one is done, I can pull them out from the side. It's got like CDs, it's got like soundtracks, movies, documentaries, everything.
Nice.
So it is beautiful. She's beautiful, but it is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy I got it. It was not cheap. I think it was under 200, but because you get like 20 movies. I mean, it's like everything that they did. And then I have another one that's DVD that just has the regular Emmanuel movies in it that Sylvia Crystal did. So I'm missing some. Roger Corman did some for Conquer New Horizon, Emmanuel in Space, and I want to get those too. But that thing is expensive. So all right, so that's me. That's everything from me.
From your first haul, your first group.
Yeah.
All right, so my first grouping here, these first 5 are 4Ks. I'm going to split my 4Ks up since I got 10. The first one up is Serpico from Kino Lorber.
Nice.
This so you can see the name of it and everything. No, I don't need to talk about Serpico. I'm sure most people who should know about Serpico.
Yeah.
So,
classic.
Next is Henry Fonda and 12 Angry Men. I don't think I've mentioned this one yet on our hauls.
That's a good one. These days it comes with
both. It comes with both the original and the TV movie that Jack Lemmon played the Henry Fonda part. So, but that's in like Blu Ray or something. You know, it's not in 4K. Next is Touch of Evil. which comes with three cuts of the movie. It comes with the reconstructed version, which is re-edited in 1998, the theatrical version, and the preview version.
Wow.
So
That I definitely may. Well, when I get 4K, I guess I'll have to pick that one up.
yeah,
the
because it
three
only comes in
versions is-
4K, and all three of those constructions are all in 4K, not Blu-ray. Then So I Married Axmer on 4K, classic, one of my favorite movies. I love the movie.
Good for you.
Waterworld, not a great movie, but fantastic box set there.
Then now I know there's at least two versions of that. Does that have two versions?
I think it's three versions.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 3-disc one. Disc one has the theatrical cut, disc two has the TV cut, and disc three has the Ulysses cut. But the disc
nice.
2 and 3 are both in Blu-ray, and the theatrical cut's the only one in 4K.
So I don't think I might have mentioned this to you before, but I'm not sure where. But it was when I was working at United Artists in Pasadena decades ago. We were having a sneak preview of In the Line of Fire, which was Wolfgang Peterson directed. It's Clint Eastwood, and he was just walking around the lobby, and we were playing Waterworld. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, that's Wolfgang Peterson. That's Wolfgang Peterson. And he walked up to me and he goes, how's Waterworld? And I went, it's Road Warrior on water. And he goes, yeah, I thought it would be that. And then he just walked away. So I guess at one point he was, up for directing it.
So it comes with this beautiful pamphlet booklet. Got lots of
I
stuff
like
in
when
it.
they put work into it like that. Oh, that's a thick one too.
Yeah, it's a thick booklet. And then, get the obvious poster,
Oh, nice.
which is reversible poster. You could do this art right here or this art. I guess I'd prefer this art, even
I
though
like
this
the
one
original
has.
one.
But beautiful thing is you have reversible art for this, and it looks different. This is the art for the cover. I like that. Or you can have the
Nice.
art that looks like this.
Okay. Are you going to pick up the Postman if that comes out in 4K?
If that comes out on 4K, probably. If it comes to Arrow or one of those companies, I wonder if they'll do that. Speaking of Arrow,
that was during Costner's I Am Jesus phase, because that was Dances with Wolves, where of course the Native American who was whitewashed wants him to have sex with her,
right?
To give the baby, and then the Postman, same thing. He's once again like the savior, and then Waterworld, same thing, and he's the savior. So he did 3 films where he basically plays Jesus, and that was I think during his biggest ego.
He's the Hollywood version of Neil Breen then.
Oh wow!
All right. So, Arrow, Lover's Lane, which is directed by a guy named John Ward. Not you, but another John Ward.
Jon, I believe.
Jon, yes.
Well, I am John.
The rest of these are all Criteria. Not Criteria. All Kino. So all 9 of these are Kino.
But Lover's Lane, don't forget that's Anna Faris. That's one of her first.
Yep,
films.
Anna Faris's first big movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Next, The Favor.
Okay.
Starring Elizabeth McGovern, Haley Jane Kozak, Bill Pullman, Brad Pitt, and Ken Wall. Directed by
Ken
Donald
Wall.
Petrie. What?
Big fan of Ken Wall.
He did a great job in it.
He's in one of my favorite exploitation action movie called The Soldier. I think I've mentioned that to you before.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah, James Glickenhaus directed that. Yeah, that's and then he did some other stuff too that I really liked, like action stuff. He had a TV show too.
And then Gotcha.
That's a good one.
That's fun. It's cute. Watched it recently. I'm doing this for Hollywood Knockbusters at some point. Cabin Boy.
That's a fun one.
Then here's a really good movie, Barton Fink.
That's a good one. Very good.
Another great movie, The Lost Weekend, starring Ray Milland.
Yes.
And Jane Wyman.
Oh wait, did you get a different version? Because the one that
Yeah,
you had
because I
before
had
you
another
couldn't
one, but
play.
it didn't play on my player, so I had to go get the Kino release of it and stuff, and I still need to watch it. Unstrung Heroes,
Okay, I
starring
know.
Annie McDowell, John Turturro, and Michael Richards, and somebody else in it, Maura Chaikin as well. So, uh, Colin Firth, Heather Graham, and Minnie Driver in Hope Springs, a
Okay.
little romantic comedy movie. My Boyfriend's Back. I had this on DVD recently and had to upgrade it to Blu-ray.
Adam
So
Marcus.
silly. So silly. Yep. And last but not least of this pile is Stone.
Oh, except for Touch of Evil, that would be my favorite one.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're doing this for Indie Film Cafe at some point in person, in the studio. Um, and now it's your turn.
Okay. Um, so mostly one actor is in this one. There's two actors, but mostly one in some random stuff. So
Dustin
uh
Ferguson,
yes, yes,
the actor, I'm guessing.
yes, yes. So the first one is Deliverance.
Deliverance.
This is
Oh.
the 40th anniversary. It includes a 44-page book, and it's in one of those, like, I love when Warner Brothers does this. They do like a book thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all, it looks like that.
Isn't that I want to say, was that that wasn't Burt Reynolds, was it?
It's
And the
Burt Reynolds. There's two Burt Reynolds in the 70s. There's this Burt Reynolds who's all fucking buffed up with the short hair, with the muscles, like in The Longest Yard and stuff. And then there's Smokey and the Bandit Burt Reynolds, who's
yeah,
not as buffed up with the
but
mustache
it's
and the cowboy hat.
just silly Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is serious Burt Reynolds. This is the film that started that whole, like Southern Comfort, Just Before Dawn, Rituals. That started the whole. Oh yeah, we're a group of rich men that go out into the woods and then just get fucked over by like the backwoods people.
Mhm.
This was the first one. This is John Borman also, and it's
John
John Voight.
Borman.
Yeah, it's got Warren Beatty, and can't forget it's got the man Ronnie Cox.
Oh wow.
So Ronnie Cox is awesome. He's also a musician. He's a director. Love Ronnie Cox. But yeah, the booklet is pretty
You
cool.
love the Cox.
I love the Cox. A lot of good
Um,
stuff in here.
there was
Oops, I
there's
just
some
spoiled Ronnie Cox there.
oh, Ronnie Cox. Well, there you go. Um, yeah, so Kino Lorber is putting out The Emerald Forest also. John Borman.
Oh, with it, yeah, with starring his son. That's an interesting film because there were a lot of natives in that, like actual like natives, not
Natives,
American Indians, but like natives of that area.
right?
They would not allow blood to be put on them, so it's all CGI'd.
Could they
And if you
CGI stuff back then?
yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be called CGI, but now that's how it will be. So yeah, whenever one of the natives is shot, it's added blood.
Oh wow, that's
It's pretty
interesting.
obvious too, unfortunately, but it's a good movie.
I wonder how it
Um,
looks on 4K.
Probably really noticeable. Of course, I'm also a huge fan of Zardoz. So, penis bad, gun good. Always remember that. And then there's I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. I worked at a place called Deja Blue, so I keep saying blue. So the official, I guess, sequel to I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh yeah, wasn't it directed by the same guy?
Yes, yeah, I did watch Growing Up. Growing up with I Spit on Your Grave, or Growing Up I Spit on Your Grave, that documentary with the guy's son. And I
Ah,
thought, there's no way that that the original director did this, because he has to be like 90 years old. And he did in a documentary. He did. So I was totally wrong. But good documentary too. But lots of nudity. Lots of nudity. So very happy about that.
Paul and I did Bigfoot or Bust on Quick Review Thursday, and we were just talking about it like um there really isn't anybody that does a lot of like nudity for movies anymore. It's usually nudity is not frowned upon, but it's just not used anymore and stuff in film. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. You know what I mean?
I think it depends on what it is. So, who knows? And then my favorite girl here, Mila. So we have The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc.
Mila Jovovich.
It's actually Holovich. The,
Holovich.
yes. She corrects Michelle Rodriguez on the audio commentary for the first Resident Evil. She goes, "Oh wow, I got to work with Mila Jovovich," and she goes, we spent like how many weeks together, and you still mispronounced my last name. It's Mila Holovich. So I guess in America it's Jolovich, but in Europe and stuff, it's Holovich. The J is pronounced.
But that's how she really wants to be known. Then that's good to know. That's her real name. That's her name.
Yeah, that's we Americans don't pronounce things correctly. So but yeah, this is a Luc Besson. So
that was when she was dating Luke, right? Because she was like, or
dating
married
or
something.
married him. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I think
exactly.
she was married. So she was married to Luke for a little bit. Then they divorced, and then she started dating and then marrying Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, I read a history of her dating and marriage stuff, and yeah, she's been like married 3 times, but none of them have lasted except for the current one.
Current one,
And
yeah.
even that one took a long time to actually happen. So, but good for him. Paul W.S. Anderson is a total nerd. He's a geek, and he got a model. He got like a really hot geeky girl who at one time was like a supermodel. So it's like good for him, man. This I did enjoy. It is part 4, I guess you could say. Except that it got horrible reviews, but I kind of liked it. And that's Men in Black International. So I guess Men in Black 4. So, and for some reason it says promo up here. I don't want to take it off because I think it's just going to tear. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, except for the first Men in Black, none of them are really good anyways. So I don't know why this one would be singled out. For some reason, you can write like 100 episodes or 200 episodes, whatever it is, of the X-Files, and you can't write 3 good sequels to Men in Black. So I don't know.
I don't know. The second one was okay to me. Like I liked it.
I liked the third one better. I thought the second one was not good. I thought it was average. It was.
What was the third one? Is that one?
That's the time travel one.
Okay.
Where I guess Tommy Lee Jones only wanted to be in it a little bit, so he's only at I think the beginning and the end, and then Will Smith's character, goes back in time, and we then find out, which is I don't know why they do this, but we find out that in the first film, Will Smith being at the interview was all planned the entire time. Like the Tommy that he's been watching him the entire time and kind of guiding him. It's I don't know why we need to do this type of stuff. It's so stupid. Okay, so now we have 2 actors, and you're going to see a lot of this actor right now, which is another reason why I said I can't do 4K. I just got everything on Blu-ray. So we have the 10 box for Tom Cruise and Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, which is nice. So I like it when they include these. I always make sure this is included in, and so stuff like that. There we go. Then we have another 10 case. This is my 3rd version of this film for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So this is I have the original Blu-ray one. That's like the double disc from Best Buy. And then I have another 10 and then this 10. And they all have different pictures on the front. So
is there a reason you got all the different versions?
They say different pictures. Different, they're the same exact thing. I mean, both of them are just one disc.
Right.
But they said different covers. So I picked them up. Plus, this was really cheap. I think it was like $5 at Zia. So I figured I'd pick it up. And then I got this. So I got Eyes Wide Shut, because I didn't own it before. And I got it because it says on here includes both rated and for the first time in North America, unrated.
Mm.
And then I went, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Because I remember it's not, it's only the R-rated version.
Uh,
So, which means, because I'm an idiot, I had to go out and buy the not rated version.
right. Well, now you
So,
got the not rated and the rated, you know.
yeah, so now I got two Eyes Wide Shuts. So, um, this is also my second version of this film, and this is the extended European cut. This is from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 minutes longer, and so I wanted it, and it's actually a better movie with the 10 minutes in it, because it was plot that was cut out. But it's night and day.
Yeah, I know that one with Cameron Diaz.
It's I like this. A lot of people don't like it. I guess it gets better. Like if they do like the best and worst of Cruise, like for YouTube, this is
Mm-hmm.
always on the worst. I disagree with that completely. I think this is a really fun movie.
What do you think
Um,
is on the worst?
I would actually have to look at everything. I don't think I could do a worst list for Tom Cruise. I
He's
don't.
never had a worse movie.
I don't. I've seen every single thing he's made. This is all Tom Cruise right here. This is all DVD.
Even Taps?
Taps is right here. This is Taps right here.
I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
you think that's even up? Yeah, I guess that's up there too.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's not a Tom Cruise film. He's great in it because he goes insane and gets, completely mowed down by a machine gun, which is nice. But like The Outsiders, I just rewatched The Outsiders, and it's
It's
not a
not a
Tom
Tom
Cruise
Cruise.
movie.
No,
No,
that
he's
barely has
barely
Tom
in
in it.
it.
Yeah, barely in it.
Yeah,
Um, uh, what is it like? All the Right Moves. Then there's
that
Cocktail.
would
There
it
was.
would basically, yeah, from like Risky Business on is our Tom Cruise movies. Anything backwards
Well, what about
is
Legend?
not.
Was that before then, or
That was after Risky
Risky B?
Business, but before Top Gun.
Right.
So
Yeah, because Ridley Scott worked with him on Legend, and then Tony Scott liked him and said, wanted him for Top Gun. Or
yeah,
wait,
Ridley recommended
yeah,
him.
Top Gun, because then later he loved working with them and they did Days of Thunder after that.
Yeah. They're that's the thing that I like about Cruise is that he does tend to work with the same people again. Like,
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz is in Vanilla Sky. He's worked with Ridley
Steven
Scott a few
Spielberg,
times.
he's worked with a few
Spielberg,
times.
but Spielberg stopped working with him because of Scientology. Because I guess on War of the Worlds, is Cruise was handing out pamphlets, and
Oh,
that was
come on, really?
yeah, and that was, and of course, Spielberg is Mr. Uber Jewish. So,
Right.
you're not going to be handing out Scientology, which has been compared to almost like Nazism, especially by Germany, on a Jewish guy's set. And
Hmm.
that's why he hasn't worked with him since. But that was during that weird
That's right.
period with Cruise when he's jumping on sofas and really promoting
And I
Scientology. He
think
has
somebody, I heard it might have been his sister or somebody told him
his
and,
sister took over as his manager.
and told him to calm the fuck. I think you told me that.
No, it's
Told,
just his sister was the one who's told him to do all that.
oh, to do all that. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
know
that
who came in, and probably a real agent came in and said, "Hey, man, if you want to
yeah,
work in Hollywood, you need to quit that shit because nobody's going to want to work with you."
yeah, and he really mellowed out.
Yeah, he
So
mellowed out, and then he divorced Katie Holmes, man. How can you divorce Katie Holmes?
she divorced him
But I'm saying, like, how does that happen, man?
because their 10-year contract was up.
I
Cruz
thought
signs
I thought she really did always have like a thing for him, but
there she mentioned on Ellen or Oprah or one of those shows long time ago that she had a Tom Cruise poster up in her room, like when she was a teenager. And then this is after his divorce from Nicole Kidman, which was also 10 years. That his agents called agents and paired them up and then did the whole marriage thing and all that.
so who's
But
next? Jennifer Lawrence, maybe?
I don't know, so far he really hasn't seen anybody. He's gone off and on, like Penelope Cruz, and he's gone on and off, but I think that he works too much. So
Just to have
you
time
know.
to be in a relationship slash fake relationship. Then if it's only a 10-year contract, man, then can't really have a
Yeah,
serious thing with somebody.
yeah. There's a
Um,
very businessy end with him,
you know,
and that in Scientology.
there was a show called LA Complex that was on CW for a while, right? And there was an actor that was kind of like a rising actor. He was starting to get his and this isn't like a reality show or anything. This is a drama, but this actress came to him with a proposition of like being my boyfriend, but it's a contract. We're not actually going to be together. We'll just show up to events and we'll look like we're together. You can live at my house or whatever if you want. But basically we're not going to, you know, um, really be together. We're just, my agencies just want me to look like I'm dating somebody after my ex, and whatever. And then he kind of gets involved in her life and ends up screwing her. Well, he ends up getting involved in her life and bringing her ex back into the picture. So then he gets knocked out. It was so weird, but it was like it was almost like it almost felt real. Like that stuff probably, like you said, 10-year contract. That stuff really does happen. That people set up contracts to be with people, so that they can look like they're you know, I guess dating or whatever when they're not really, when they're too busy with their career, they don't have time, you know? It's just crazy.
Well, they used to. I don't think so much anymore because star power is pretty much gone. Like
Yeah.
nobody goes to see a movie now because of an actor. They go because of the series.
They
And
they go because the IP, yeah, because of people have been talking about this for a while. Superhero movies have really made it where people go to see Iron Man. They don't go to see Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man. They go to see Iron Man itself,
yeah.
and
Well,
that sort of sucks.
yeah, there's pretty much only like three actors. Tom Cruise being one of them, then like Keanu Reeves. I would even say Will Smith. You go to see their
Was
movies
I don't
for
know, man. After
well,
that
maybe not Will
slap, he
Smith
kind of
now.
fucked he fucked that up bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what he's
So
gonna do to get back in the
he's
good
gonna make Bad
gracious.
Boys 4.
I know, but are people gonna see it? That's gonna be the question.
I mean, I would watch it just
I
because I
know,
like
but
the
you
I
don't care
like it.
about the slap. A lot of people did
Oh,
care
I
about
do.
that,
I care about this. Yeah, because I think if he wouldn't have done that if it was like Dwayne Johnson,
right?
but
He
he
did
knew
it
that he
because
could.
he knew he was taller and bigger than Chris Rock, and Chris
Yeah,
Rock
and
ain't
Chris
gonna
Rock
do
wouldn't have done
nothing.
anything. Now, and of course, a lot of people said, oh well, I would have slapped him back or hit him back. It's like no, you wouldn't. You would have reacted exactly the same way that Chris Rock did, which was totally stunned. Is this a
Yeah.
joke? Is he serious? What's going on here?
And he seemed serious, came back down and yelled at to get your effing name or
Well,
my
that's
wife's
because he's
effing name out of my,
cucked. He's
yeah.
completely cucked. And he was laughing until Jada looked at him and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta do something.
Yeah,
I hate
now
that whole family. I cannot stand anybody in that family. So I tolerate Will Smith because he has made some good movies.
he's made some good movies. I actually liked him as the Fresh Prince. A lot of people don't like the Fresh
I
Prince
never
stuff,
really
and
watched
I
it,
know,
so
and I liked him
I
as
don't
the
know.
Fresh Prince. I always grew up, but see, I'm a little younger than you, so I grew up in that. That was my, when
Well, I mean,
I
I've
was
seen clips and scenes and stuff from it. I mean, I know enough. It wasn't my thing at the time.
right.
What annoys me the most is that he bought Jaden the Karate Kid rights. And so now their name, I think it's like Will Smith, Jada, and like a brother are
Or
now or like the producers on Cobra Kai. And I
Jaden, not Jada, right?
Jaden, he bought it for Jaden.
Right.
And
So it's
and
yeah. Oh, okay.
and that which is it's a total lie when they on the Smith side they go, oh no, he had to try out for it. He just like everybody. No, he didn't. It's he asked you on his for his birthday present, can you buy me the rights to Karate Kid because I want to make a Karate Kid movie, and they did. And it's not even karate.
It's Kung Fu.
Yeah, the producer acknowledged that and said, no, I just want to keep the title because nobody would know the Kung Fu Kid. So which then kind of says a lot to me about Jackie Chan. Like, okay, so you're going against your race, but that okay, I guess money talks. So,
All right. So what's next for you?
all right.
Where we got on a rabbit hole?
I know, but that's okay. And then Mission Impossible 2, because I only had this in a box set, and so I wanted to get it solo, so we got that. Considered to be the worst Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, somebody on YouTube bought it as a joke because it was like everybody's least favorite. And his wife was doing is a guy who does mid-level media, Kenny, and his wife just does audits with him on his videos, and she was like, "Why? So you're buying movies for jokes now, for shits and giggles? Great, thanks."
It's
You
it's
know,
not a it's not a bad movie. It's just, once again, this is that time period of Cruise being that real ego-driven guy. And so it's more about Flash than, like, the first one with Brian De Palma was more about being a thriller. This is more about Flash,
but it's
Doug
also John
flying in
Woo
slow
who is all
motion.
Flash. Like
Yeah, so
I hate to say,
it's
like I'm not a huge John Woo fan, not huge. Like I think he's kind of to me is the Baz Luhrmann of like action movies, or whatever.
what?
Yeah,
How
his
can you say
stuff.
that about The Killer, Hard Boiled,
No, those stuff are
A
great. When he
Better
got into the American
Tomorrow?
movies, I can't take it. Like it just is just like MTV style, like
Well,
shots
it's
and
very
everything.
MTV. Lots of
Yeah,
slow motion. There is even the
yeah, and
slow
I don't
motion
like it. I
dove
don't dig it.
scene
But
in
I do
this
dig
that
his
Chow Yun
earlier
Fat had.
work that got him to where he was. I just don't dig his American MTV style kind of shit. I don't know. It's just not me.
Well, and this is like written. It's Robert Towne, who Cruise then did work with a few times, and even
Yeah.
helped produce some of his movies.
That's
That's
didn't he do Chinatown?
Yeah, he wrote Chinatown. But the main guys who wrote the story are two of the people from Star Trek, like from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and because it's Paramount.
Hmm.
So this to me is just lazy, because it's at one point near the end of the film. I think it's Tom Cruise asked Ving Rhames how, because she's got poison in her. She injected herself with poison, and she's like, "Well, how much time do we have left?" And that's Cruise, and then Ving Rhames just goes, "Not long." And I went, that is so fucking lazy that you can't say 5 minutes or 3 hours or 8 days. In other movies, it's a time clock. It's just you're following at the beginning of the movie, you have 6 days. By the end of the movie, you only have like 15 minutes. So to sit there and say not long, oh, okay, you're just friggin' lazy. So it's but it's still, I mean, it's still enjoyable. It's got a great Metallica song, I Disappear, in it.
Hmm.
And then the last two, well, not last two, but these, I have two more Cruise left, and then somebody else. So this is part of the Paramount Presents Blu-rays. I only had this on DVD, and it looked like shit. They did
Right.
one of those things where it wasn't the full screen. It had the black all around it. And then the widescreen was like right in the center. So it didn't even fill up the, like, from side to side. It just annoyed the fuck out of me. And then I found out that they had this. And so this is really nice. And it's got the clear box, which I like. And then when you open it, oh no, wait. Well, that's what it looks like inside. But where is it? Oh, here it is. So it even has the date 1990, but when you open it, it has the original poster.
Oh, crazy.
And this is the film where he met Nicole Kidman.
And Eyes Wide Shut. Wasn't that where he met no, Vanilla Sky was where he met Penelope Cruz.
Cruise. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And this has Michael Rooker, who then plays in, I think it's Oblivion. It's either
Right.
Oblivion or Edge of Tomorrow, where he plays a mechanic. And I thought, oh, did they get Michael Rooker as like a little Easter eggy type thing to this? So, and then speaking of Vanilla Sky, which is my favorite Cruise movie, got that right here.
It's great.
And same thing, it's got 2001, and then Paramount Presents up here. You open it, and it's got the poster. and it's just really, they just did a really great job on these. So it's nice having this type of stuff on Blu-ray. It's weird that he has not worked again with
Cameron
what's his
Crowe.
face. Yeah, because I guess I mean they did 2 movies together.
Great movies.
And well, this is funny because they were still shooting this when Cruise started Minority Report. And so Spielberg had Cameron and Diaz in a scene on a train, and you're just seeing from like here up of like 2 people staring at Tom Cruise, and it's them. So in exchange, Cameron Crowe asked Spielberg to be in this. And there's a scene at a party where Spielberg goes up and congratulates the character.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they traded off and on. So I just think this is a really overlooked film by him.
Well, okay, so I hope that one day Cruise works again with Cameron Crowe, but also Steven Spielberg. I hope that they patch up their, the issues with War of the Worlds, and he says, let's put you in one more movie with me, because I do love Minority Report. I wasn't big on the War of the Worlds. I thought it was just,
No, it was the weaker. I mean, it's hard for me to watch because Cruise does play an asshole in it, and Dakota Fanning will not shut the fuck up.
So would you say that was your least favorite
yes
of his movies?
Of his movies, yeah. It would probably be that one. Yeah, because it's and I just don't like the story. I don't like that the ships have been under Earth all this time, but yet we've had tunnels built and sewer systems, and they were never found. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's probably Spielberg's worst movie.
Yeah.
Cruise's worst movie. Yeah, I was not a fan. So it's one that I got on DVD. I just didn't care. So it's just like, no, I'll watch it, but I don't care that it's on DVD. And last 3 or with a different actor. My second favorite actor, so you probably know who it is. Yep. So we got Nicolas Cage here, Outcast.
You're on your kicks buying all their movies, and stuff, which is great.
Well, and this one has Hayden Christensen, who has had like a resurgence since because of the whole Star Wars thing.
Anakin Skywalker, and he's even coming back and playing Anakin in all these TV shows and stuff. So, like, he was in Obi-Wan, and then he was in I think he's in Ahsoka.
He is in Ahsoka. Ahsoka. Yeah. So I mean, he looks like he's having some sort of like comeback. Even the guy who played Jar Jar Binks was brought back on the shows and now has respect.
He has respect. The actor has respect. I don't know if the character.
No, not the character does, but the actor does.
But the actor it's not his fault. Yeah, he was friends with me on Facebook for a while, but we haven't really talked. I don't even know if he still is. I think at some point we're not friends anymore, but it's not because, just it's funny because I remember him posting on Facebook the title that George Lucas went with for Star Wars Episode 2 because everybody hated Jar Jar. He called it for a while just because he didn't have the title yet, or he didn't announce the title yet. He probably had the title for a while of Attack of the Clones, but he didn't announce the title. So he called it Star Wars Episode 2 Jar Jar's Revenge.
Oh.
It was a joke.
I know,
but all those people who hated Jar Jar.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Armin Best?
Ahmed, I think.
Ahmed Best? Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me look him up real quick. I think it's Best. Yeah, so it's Ahmed, so Ahmed? Or Ahmed. I don't know how you would pronounce that, but
okay. But it's nice to see that he's got stuff going on. So
yeah.
And then Season of the Witch, which I know is one that
I have that actually.
It's got a nice little slip jacket here. So
I own that one. I don't know if I have a slip jacket on or not.
I have not seen this. I saw it at a sneak preview like a year before the movie came out. So I'm assuming maybe the alternate ending is maybe the one that I saw in the theater. I don't remember a thing. And then this is the theatrical version. So I don't know. I mean, I'd have to watch it. but I wouldn't even remember it. But I know I saw it like a year before it came out. Cody doesn't like this one, who's also a big Nick Cage fan, but I liked it.
Did you guys do it? Because I know you were thinking of doing a podcast or a video cast or whatever of like discussing Nicolas Cage movies or something, you
Oh,
know?
we've already done two.
Okay. So you and Cody?
We yeah, Cody and I do it. We did the first one we did for Vampire's Kiss, and then just discussed his entire career, but focused that video on Vampire's Kiss. And then the next one we did was on Renfield, and then caught up on his career, but then focused on Renfield. We don't know what the next one will be, but for Cage, but we are going to do one on Tom Cruise. So when he watches Mission Impossible 7, that will be the main focus, but we'll talk about his career.
Cool.
So, and then my last one is a Paul Schrader movie, and that is Dog Eat Dog.
Dog Eat Dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Jackie worked on that one. Jackie Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
she actually that's where she met both Nicolas Cage and she was what's his name's assistant? She was Willem Dafoe, I think is in that
Yeah,
movie.
Willem Dafoe's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was Willem Dafoe's agent, and she said he was wonderful to work with. Just both of them, and she said that because I was asking her how is Nick Cage on set, or whatever, and she said what he does is he just does his part, comes in, does his scene, that he's supposed to do or whatever, very cordial, thanks everybody and everything, and just goes back to his trailer and hangs out. He doesn't really socialize because I don't know. Maybe that's just not how he is on sets, and that's
Well, he
fine
doesn't
for
do
me.
social media or anything. I
Yeah,
mean,
he seems like a very quiet, very private person who's not quiet when he does his movies because his characters are usually crazy and whatever, but
yeah, very very larger than life. Yeah,
yeah.
when they did one of those things on YouTube where it's like, Nick Cage answers questions from the internet, and I watched that one, and one of the questions was who did the other person better in Face Off? Like, did John Travolta do you better, or did you do better than John Travolta? And he goes, well, no, John Travolta did better than me. And it's like he could have just said himself, well, of course I did John Travolta better.
Yeah, he seems very humble,
Yeah.
and
So instead,
everything.
he was only complimenting other people. He never brought himself into it unless it was almost like a criticism.
It's also a thing where I think John Travolta would be like that too. Honestly, I think John Travolta seems like the kind of person who wouldn't be a braggart or, like very ego driven, or something,
He makes me
like
sad. Travolta makes me sad
why?
because he seems to promote the shit out of, including today, Grease, but he never says a word about Saturday Night Fever. It's like, dude, it's a better movie, first of all, and you're better in it.
Hmm.
And it's like, why is this? Everything is frigging Grease. Like, talk about Saturday Night Fever. I mean, that's ultimately the movie that made you. So it's like, it just kind of bums me out because Saturday Night Fever is in like my top 5 for like one of my all time favorite movies.
Mm.
So, and he wouldn't even be interviewed. They brought out like a director's cut extended edition where they talked to a fair amount of people, including like the director and stuff. And he's not even interviewed. They had to use like old interviews. It's like, come on, really? But yet you're like,
I have heard, okay, so there's a book called I'll Be in My Trailer, by the director of written by the director of Saturday Night Fever, and he actually talks about how John Travolta was kind of difficult back then to work with and everything. He would he was the guy that was like, I'll be in my trailer until you get this, whatever, right? Like he was kind of more difficult to work with, and I can't say anything specific to that. Maybe I'll send you some pictures of what was said, about Saturday Night Fever, but there was a whole not chapter because it's kind of broken up into little different stories that go out throughout the whole book. But it's a really cool book on how directors handle actors,
hmm.
and stuff. So I would suggest buying it, period, because if you if you read it, you can kind of it teaches you tricks on how to handle actors when things get rough. And things get rough all the time. You can't help it sometimes, like it just happens on sets. Emotions get entangled into things. And so he kind of talks about how he handles stuff because he was also it was John Badham, I believe, if I'm correct,
Yeah.
and the same director that ended up taking over for um the Island of Dr. Moreau, and he's done all these other great movies. I think he did the movie with Matthew Broderick, War Games, if I'm correct, or something
He
like
did
that.
War Games, but not Island of Dr. Moreau.
I think he did do Island of Dr.
No,
Moreau.
Island of Dr. Moreau was not William Friedkin, but Frankenheimer.
That's right, it was Frankenheimer. Why do I keep thinking?
John Badham he was very hit and miss.
Okay, well, he must have mentioned something about that movie. Maybe he interviewed John Frankenheimer on that set because I
Oh, that
remember
was
him talking.
definitely, yeah. Val Kilmer was definitely a "I'll be in my trailer" guy back then.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he talked
he's
about the
even talked about
difficulty
that.
of taking over a movie set. I think there was a movie that John Badham took over from another director, and that was like part of the thing of like discussing it as like originally he was supposed to direct something, or he wasn't supposed to direct the movie, and then he kind of took over for the movie, and then and stuff. So
Well,
uh
and with Travolta, with that, he was already huge because he was on Welcome Back, Carter. So I think he
right.
did Carrie at that point, and probably like Boy in the Bubble or whatever it was. But because of Welcome Back, Carter, he was like a massive heartthrob. I mean, like posters of him were all over like girls' rooms from that show. So the director and other people talk about how there would be lines going down the city block for because of John Travolta. So if he was shooting a scene outside, there'd be like 1,000 girls out there.
Right.
So I mean, and then of course Saturday Night Fever just made him, more for an adult audience, I guess, even huger. And then you could see after that movie during that time period, then there's posters of Saturday Night Fever up on people's walls. So I
Hmm.
saw it like 10 times when I was a kid. I think it was, my mom took me to it and it was R-rated. She just dropped me off at the theater. And
Nice.
in yeah, she just like go see whatever you want to watch.
That's
Because
awesome.
yeah, well, she got rid of me for 2 hours. She could do whatever she
And
wanted at the house.
yeah, we think when they're doing that to be nice to us. No, they're
No,
doing that to be nice to them.
yeah, it's just to get rid of. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So what about you?
Okay. So you're done with your
Yeah,
all your movies. Those were great. Some
well, thank you.
fantastic flicks. Um, all right. So my first five 4K movies. The first one is not Criterion. The other four will be Criterion. First one is Doctor Strangelove, or how I
Great one, of course.
oh God, I can't learn to stop worrying and love the bomb. Um, that's a hard title to say, but Doctor Strangelove, and I watched that for the first time like last month or month before,
Oh,
and I had never
really?
seen it I hadn't seen it before, because I tried watching it once and just couldn't get into it and just didn't understand anything that was going on. Didn't know anything about the Cold War, all that stuff, Like you think, oh, you learned it in history. No, I don't remember anything
No,
from my history classes and stuff. So,
no.
yeah. So I ended up watching it now, and I know more about the Cold War now, but uh there'll be two Cold War movies here and in this collection. So that's a little bit of a theme. If you notice, that last theme that I had was like Kino Lorber and stuff and Arrow, right? This is going to be my Criterion and I think a couple other stuff, but odds and ends. But Thelma and Louise,
Okay, good
direct.
one.
We talked about Ridley Scott before, so
Yep.
directed by him. Comes with commentary, but I think it was the old commentary that's already on other discs anyway. But it
It's
comes
the
with the
film that made Brad Pitt.
yeah, and there you go. So like it's not as big as the other pamphlet I showed you earlier, but from Waterworld or
It's nice when they do
whatever.
stuff, period, instead
Yeah,
of just sticking in something advertising their other movies. It's nice when, even if it's just something that you just open, like it's just
Yeah, I'm
like a
surprised Kino
card,
doesn't do
you
that
know.
really. Kino doesn't, have like booklets and stuff, but
No, well, we've seen their DVDs or Blu-rays are very boring.
yeah, I mean, at least they're the movies, which is really what we want, right? We want
Right.
the movies on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. Um, Next is Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard. Not
Oh
my
yeah, yeah.
favorite, honestly, of his movies. I got it because it's a 4K of it, and I didn't already have it on Blu-ray, you know. It comes with the Blu-ray anyway, which just fell out. I don't know why. That's not good because I haven't touched it. So I don't know why it just came out, but now it's stuck in there, so hopefully. But yeah, it comes with both Blu-ray and the 4K. Comes with a bigger little booklet, pretty big booklet.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a good it's so I watched this with my friend Vittorio a while ago, and we were just like, it's kind of slow. And the characters are not like exciting enough or interesting enough or even nice, you know? So it's like kind of like you're like watching these kind of unlikable characters kind of move around and do stuff. I mean, not really a big, huge fan of it, but it is a sort of a classic and it probably has a lot of like extras that I'm gonna wanna
Well, it's part of that whole
have.
French New Wave thing where, if we didn't have it, if you didn't have Breathless, then you probably wouldn't have Dazed and Confused, because it really is all about walking and talking and sitting there eating or drinking, or they're not action movies. If
Right.
you're
Might not
if
have
you're not,
Kevin Smith movies too,
yeah,
because
Clerks, we wouldn't have had, Breathless probably inspired Dazed and Confused, and then
or
from
yeah,
there, we
and
got
then
Clerks, and
Slacker
then
and
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
Slacker, and then yeah. So it without one, I don't think that you'd have the other. But yeah, you do need to. It's almost like watching Citizen Kane. Is that you have to realize that somebody maybe who's in their 20s today would go, "This is boring. I've seen it before." Some of the stuff is silly, like the spinning newspaper, but they have to realize none of that was done back then. It was the
Mm.
very first movie to do everything that it did. It's just, and people don't get that. They just go, God, this is boring, and it's
And
not.
yep. So my next one is a classic, and it's one I have seen, and I fucking loved. I watched this on the Criterion channel, and I was like blown away by the movie, period. But I'd seen clips of it, but I haven't seen the movie, and that's The Seventh Seal by Bergman. And I mean, just death playing chess and stuff like that. That was very common scene. I think it was poked fun of in was a Bogus Journey of Bill and Ted Bogus Journey, where they're
Oh
playing
yeah.
chess with death, but then they play like other stuff with them, like Twister and
Oh yeah, yeah.
you're sunk my battleship, which is sort of the parody of Seventh Seal, which I think is kind of funny. But it's a very like you know if you're looking for a movie that's sort of dark and sort of but very beautifully filmed. I've not seen this on 4K yet, but I'm dying to because I bet it just pops and looks beautiful. So there you go. Does that have anything like? So some of these don't have like box. They're not like digibooks or anything like that, like the last two really were. But it's got this little pamphlet here and the two movies on 4K and Blu-ray, which a lot of movies nowadays are just putting them on 4K and not 4K Blu-ray, you know, and stuff, which is kind of pissing me off because that means you have to also Arrow does this a lot where you actually have to buy the Blu-ray of theirs too, or you can get them in a pack together, but it costs like $10 more, to get them in a pack together. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah,
this,
well, I wanted that with Top Gun Maverick, is I wanted them to do like the 4K Blu-ray. Don't need DVD, just 4K Blu-ray, and I would have purchased it. But they didn't. 4K was totally separate. And then you could get the Blu-ray DVD digital, and I was just like, well, I guess that's what I'm getting then. I would have picked up the 4K Blu-ray, but
Yeah, they lost out. And I think because a lot of YouTubers who get free stuff are actually talking about that now, how they're kind of disappointed that they don't have the Blu-ray, that hopefully studios will actually see that, because studios do watch some of those videos and check to see what people are saying about their movies, when they review their movies and stuff, just to see what the people are into in the comments and stuff. So Mildred Pierce is my next one. I don't know if you've ever
know
seen
of it,
that
but
or
I've
not.
not seen it. No,
Yeah.
I know of it very well, but
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't seen
Joan
it.
Crawford, directed by Michael Curtis, who did
No,
I believe he did Casablanca, if I'm correct. Um, is that right? He did Casablanca, right?
I know the name. I know him as a director, yeah, but I'm not sure if it was
You're not sure?
Casablanca.
You never seen Casablanca, or
Oh, I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
you just don't remember who directed it?
No,
Yeah,
because
it's Michael Curtis. Yeah.
it's more of a Bogart movie,
Yeah.
than it is a
You
director
think of
movie.
Bogart, you don't think of the director, which is
Yeah.
interesting because it is really well made. Just like I've heard this one is too. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been kind of dying to, and I'm guessing I'm gonna watch it soon. I'm gonna try to watch all my Criterion films that I have not seen by the end of the year, and stuff, and then including the ones I'll probably get in November. So I want to get all the ones done before November, then watch the ones I'm gonna get in November before the end of the year. So we'll see. But Mildred Pierce is my last of my 4Ks. Now coming to my, um, here are 7, I believe. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 Criterion films. So this goes with my Doctor Strangelove, because it's basically the same movie made at the same time, just came out afterwards because Stanley Kubrick said, I need my movie to come first. And it was also produced by the same freaking distribution company. That's Failsafe.
Ah, yes. So that
Yes.
many years ago.
But
Yeah.
it's Doctor Strangelove. I mean, there's it instead of Doctor Strangelove being played by, or whatever the guy's playing by
Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers, it's Walter Matthau, and it's got Henry Fonda as the president, and it's got Dan O'Hurley, Frank Overton. I mean, it's got a huge cast. Sidney Lumet directed it. I mean, it's fantastic. So
They did I think it was during ER, George Clooney and Noah Wyle did a live version of Failsafe.
yes, I've heard about that, and that's actually talked about in this movie, in the like extras and stuff, because there's interviews with all these people, and then there's an interview with, who'd you say it was?
George Clooney and Noah Wyle.
So I think it was George Clooney who did like interviews with them saying how much he loved Failsafe and how excited he was to be able to redo it, or whatever. So interesting.
He's a movie fan. I like him
Yeah.
for that. He likes movies. He's not just an actor. He's like an actual fan.
Yeah. So this movie is the one and only Hitchcock movie that wasn't directed by Hitchcock. Charade.
Charade's great.
Yeah, we've talked about this. You love this
Yeah, I
movie.
love Charade. Yeah,
Yeah,
Arabesque is another good one too. It's kind of the same thing.
but it's so funny because this feels exactly like a Hitchcock movie. Like was it
Stanley
Stanley
Donovan.
Donen. I think it's
Donen?
Donen or
Oh, yeah, there's no D.
Donen.
Who also directed Saturn 3.
Yeah. And it's written by Peter Stone, and I think, yeah, they do commentary together in this commentary track. So kind of want to listen to that at some point and hear them both talk about this movie, because I like this movie because there's so many twists and turns. It's like was it M. Night Shyamalan must have been a fan of these things because so many twists and turns, and even at the end there's like even one big last twist, to everything. It's kind of fun. Another movie that I'm excited is a Coen Brothers movie. It is Miller's Crossing,
Oh
which
yeah,
I
classic.
own on Blu-ray, like a regular Blu-ray, This is like the special edition with like new commentary, or not new interviews and things. Unfortunately, the Coen brothers never do commentary tracks and stuff for their films. So
Mm,
that's kind of a bummer.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. So next is a movie that I just heard about this year, and people were talking about getting it, and I watched these Criterion videos, like people collecting Criterion, just to see what's out there, what I might not have thought about getting, and everything. And this is one which is Chilly Scenes of Winter. And this is uh, it was produced by Mark Metcalf, Amy Robinson, and Griffin Dunn. Griffin Dunn has a little cameo in it, but this is a little small part in it. But John Hurd is the main actor in
Oh,
this. Before he was Macaulay Culkin's father in Home Alone. It also Mary Beth Reigert's in it. Or not Mary Beth Hurt and Peter Reigert are in it. So, fantastic cast, and it's written and directed by Joan Micklin Silver. So
okay.
it's a great movie. It's basically about a guy who's fallen in love with this woman, and she's married, and they kind of have a little fling, but then she sort of wants to end things, but he can't get her out of his mind. No matter what, so he keeps kind of coming back to her. And there's even a alternate ending that apparently was more to satisfy audiences, and stuff or whatever, because I mean it's not a comedy. It's a sort of a dark comedy, of like obsession and stuff. So really good movie. We're gonna be doing it for Criterion Watch at some point. Most of these movies we'll probably be doing for Criterion Watch. Another movie I'm sure we will be doing for Criterion Watch it someday, because I know Paul loves this movie, is Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Oh yeah.
Peter Weir movie. And yeah, let's see. Rachel Roberts, Dominic Guard, Helen Morris, Jackie Weaver. I know Jackie Weaver. I don't know any of the other actors though. Yeah, wonderful. Movie that definitely I've been wanting to kind of check out and see and everything. Is there a commentary at all? I mean, I love when they do commentary, but a lot of movies these days aren't having commentary because a lot of the people are dead. So unless they've already done a commentary, all you can do is like Kino Lorber does it, where they get like film historians like Tim Lucas to
Right.
come in and do that. But like aside from that, who else? Last of my Criterion, and then I got I think four more movies. Is a All About Eve,
Okay. Good one.
another black and white older movie. Betty Davis, Ann Baxter, George Sanders, Celeste Holmes. Um, Written and directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz.
No?
Yeah, and produced by Daryl F. Zanuck. Guy who did Jaws and stuff.
Jaws, Close Encounters, many others. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not know he produced All About Eve, but that's probably early in his career.
Oh, would have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I only have one Vestron title in this group, and that is Dagon,
Yeah.
which
I still need to get that one. Yeah.
which Paul had me watch on Tubi for uh what was it, for Patreon only podcast, and I loved it so much I had to buy it. So and then I got, was it two MVD titles. One is Monday Morning, which I did a review of. It's not very good. It's pretty
Oh,
bad,
good.
but
I'm glad you said that because they had some special that was going on where that was like $5. And I remember renting it. Well, I didn't rent it, but when I worked at a video store, we had it under its other title. And I never watched
yeah, it
it.
was what was the other title? Because it has the other title on here. Yeah, put it. Yeah, the other titles on that. So it's kind of cool. It does have the
Yeah,
That and that's
School of Fear.
Class of
Yeah,
Fear.
that's what I remember. Yeah, Class of Fear.
Yeah, Class of Fear. But it it looks scarier and more dramatic than it actually is. The dude barely has a like he doesn't even bring in the gun. Somebody else does, you know? So it's not even like the guy's going there to do stuff. It's just like this guy comes in to threaten him with the gun and then it gets out of hand and, you know, whatnot. And then he keeps people as what is it, hostages and stuff. It becomes a hostage situation, which kind of slows the movie down and makes it just not as much fun. Like it wasn't what wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I think what I wanted it to be was more fucked up. And from what I understand from the uh making of like interview with the director actually says that he wanted to make it more fucked up, but the person that he spoke to at his school said if you made it, more fucked up, Hollywood wouldn't want it. Wouldn't be interested in it. So he made it more like a after school special like thing, basically. It's kind of, it wasn't as much fun. It seemed like something that would be on Lifetime today, but even then I think it was just too much for what Lifetime would do. Especially Lifetime wouldn't do it now, wouldn't touch it now. School shootings and bringing guns to school is not even touched on anymore, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Next is another MVD movie, and I think you love this movie, and it is Men at Work.
I like it. I don't love it, but I think I like that it's directed by Emilio Estevez. So
yeah, sadly, it has no special features on this. I thought it did when I bought it, but it has
I have
none.
the DVD of it, and there's nothing on that one either. Trailer or something. That's about it.
Yeah, is there even a trailer? Yeah, official theatrical trailer. That's it. But yeah, I was kind of bummed out about that. I thought MVD usually packs stuff with something, At least the Monday morning had that interview with the director, where I think even commentary, if I'm correct. Now there's just a Don Murphy Portrait of a Producer interview with writer director Don Murphy, and that's better, and you get both the original and the Class of Fear on this one. So you got something, This gives you really, it's bare bones, but whatever. I'm just happy to own it, I guess. Maybe someday they'll do a special edition of it, Last but not least, definitely not least, is Indicator. These are a company from I believe England and the UK, and it is 13 Ghosts. Another
yes.
William Castle movie. I'm on my William Castle kick. I want to get every William Castle movie that I can, I need to eventually get a House on Haunted Hill, and I think he did that one, didn't he? Yeah, and then I'm gonna get Homicidal, and a bunch of other ones from Indicator. So there you go. So that was my haul, and that was your haul.
Okay.
So we're all hauled out.
There we go.
We'll have one more haul coming in December for October and November. And after that, we're gonna take a break and see what happens. We'll be back at some point, I think.
Yeah, just taking a break is good. Yeah. Right now, this is it. I don't have anything coming in. So I have to see what happens in the next couple of months.
Yeah. You may have to do less than 30.
I mean, I can grab older stuff that was ordered.
Oh,
from like 6 months ago, pull it off the shelf that
you have not shown, right?
Right. Been on the show. I don't think it's been on any video that we've done, the haul, like the monthly haul or anything. So I could do that. But they're all like MVD, but it'd be like a whole collection because they had a sale. So I could probably do that if I don't have enough.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, man. And join us in 2 more months for our next episode. Until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, welcome to hold on a second.